Thank you. It's quite exciting for all of us to be here, I guess. So our interest in sonification is really came about because of this group. We worked with Yuma with the project of Estrios. We came up with a new character for our Sonokids Bollyland suite of apps and software. That's a virtual world for kids to learn about technology, and the Bollylanders are ball-shaped characters. And we came up with Cosmo Bolly, who is a girl astronaut, and who will also hopefully be part of a special children's part of the Astros app. And Cosmo Bolly has her own app, but when we were in this chat and heard from Diane, I was involved with the space theme, and she said you should talk to Kate, and we came in this group. And sonification is clearly very important, but over the last few chats, we've spoken about the fact that students in general only get to know much about sonification at secondary or tertiary education. And of course, Sonokids is really always trying to get in early and involve kids as young as possible in this kind of new technology. So we thought we would try, especially for this project, to come up with what we do always is make a game, an educational game. So we've tried to make a sonification game concept. This is only a small part of it. It's called Sonoplanet. This is a planet that was discovered by Cosmo Bolly recently, a very distant planet, and everything revolves around sound. So when you come there, it's all based on sound. And you can hear different shapes, hopefully, but you can also draw shapes using sonification. And of course, we are, this is really a game for very young kids, say from around 3 years of age. So please bear with me. It's not, to analyze astronomical data. The theme is space, but we're trying to give young children experience with sonification concepts and listening to everything that's come past. We've tried to implement some of these ideas into this game. Now, I've tried to use share screen over the last few days, and it turns out that with video and audio, there's a lag between the video and the audio if you share your screen on Zoom. I've tried to solve that, but there's complaints everywhere online as well. So what we'll try to do is show you a pre-recorded video through the camera, and I will the audio describe. But the main thing is the sound anyway. It's the sonification. So I hope that the sound will come through very good, loud and clear as well. So if I do it like this, let me see. Where is my thingy here? Okay, so what it is we've made a grid on the touch screen with cells, and you can create a shape on the screen by way of activating the sonification. So first in this game, you would have a shape that is a square, and it will auto draw, so it will draw the square. The way that we've used the sonification is that it horizontally, it uses speed. We've used 2 tones for each cell so that you can hear the speed easier, and it has a rhythm so that it's easier to detect. And then vertically is the pitch goes up. It's a musical kind of evolving. So you have the rhythm and you've got the music when the pitch when you go up. So hopefully I will just play the square now, and I hope that you can hear that it's a square, and I'll comment on it too. So we'll start with drawing a square. Now it doesn't look like a square because of the shape of the cells, but there's just as many cells horizontally as vertically, so it should sound like a square. It draws it automatically. For every tone, there's another cell that is drawn into the line. So turn, going up, pitch, turn, going down in tempo means going left, turn, going down in pitch, so you get to the end. Now you can trace the line with your finger. You will hear the same sounds. It's a turn, so maybe it should turn downwards. No, turn upwards. Another turn. I want to make a square. I need to go left. Go left, 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 left. So the other turn. Now I need to go down. The pitch goes down. I want to start again. So the finger dragging is a way also to help children learn about shapes, and it supports learning as well. So we hope that this will help to understand sonification. And then in the next thing, you will get the same shape, but there will be a sound that is different in there that you have to recognize. So you have to pick up an anomaly in the sonification of this shape. I will play that. You can also have a square that has some things that are not quite right, like barriers on it, that you can hear. Yeah, or obstacles. So this will automatically create another square on the screen with two different sounds in there that are barriers on it. Starts from left to right. The tempo goes up to the right. Turn, the pitch goes up, the line goes up. Poof, that was the barrier. Another turn, it goes left again. Another barrier. Another turn, and then it goes down again. When you come to the end, you've reached Cosmoboli, and I can show that by turning on some nice visuals that are more like the game is supposed to look. So here we see Cosmoboli in a track, in the middle of the track at the end and the start, and it's a very dried out soil on Sonoplanet, and there's a huge rock on the track, and there's a big gaping hole. So now if I'm tracing my finger over the line again, I should be able to find those barriers and get rid of them. Here's the corner, I'll go up. There's the barrier, I can just split that on the screen and it disappears. I remove it, identify it, turn to the left, oh, the other gaping hole, it's gone. Keep dragging my finger, come to a turn, I go down. Hooray, I've reached Cosmoboli. Yeah, well, so it's basically a game using sonification concepts. Don't know if I have time to show another one, Kate. You are the timekeeper.
Yes, you have time.
Okay. So we can also draw. You can also draw. I will repeat after myself. That's the interesting part, we think, as well. You can draw on the grid, and it will, where you draw your finger, you track your finger over the cells. The cells will then be sonified, so you can basically draw a line, and it will be, afterwards you can then drag it again, and you can hear back what you've just drawn. So I'll show that. Your own shape. I'm dragging my finger and drawing a line from the left to the right. Line to the right, horizontally. And I stop. Now I'll go up in a vertical line. And then I stop. And I press stop and drag a button. Now I can trace it and hear what I've made. If I go off the line, it's silent. If I come back to the line, I hear it, so I can trace it. I don't know where it stops. There's no turn sound now that I've drawn drawn it myself. But I can come back to the line. I'll go up. See what is the highest point. Is there something beyond here? No, so I go back. This must be the highest point. Yeah, so it can be used to actually gauge when something is higher or lower than something else. You can do that with 4 data points on the screen, for instance, and you will be able to hear a difference in the tempo and a difference in the pitch, so you know whether it's on the left or on the right of the X axle, and on whether it's high or low on the Y. You would be able to hear the difference. I can show that too. Data point. One is at the bottom on the left, one is at the top left, one is at the top right, and one is at the bottom right. And you should be able to hear the difference because of the tempo, very slow tempo of this is on the left bottom sound, but in a low tone. And then at the left top, a much higher tone, but the same low tempo. So that's the other one. Then the top right, same high, but a higher tempo as well. High tempo, but low tone. Yeah. So I think what we would like to hear is your feedback and your input. This is only a tiny part. We've got all these ideas of how you can use sonification to, for instance, measure the growth of plants on Sonoplanet that are weird black plants, and they can grow in the ground or they can grow up, and you can then measure and learn about applying sonification to acquire information. And we are looking for people to not only input, but also maybe if you're interested in assisting, or if you know how we can connect this up with education outreach. We don't have funding or a grant for this, but we believe it is a very relevant thing. But yeah, I'd appreciate that in the document, in the Google box, the Google Drive, is information also on how to reach us if you have any suggestions. So yeah, I hope it wasn't too much of an outlier in this very serious discussion, but we hope that it helps also to set these standards by bringing it back to the very basic. You know, we can look at what works and then build on that for different applications, I think.